And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Monday, March 18th. I am the host for today's program, Paul Domain, and many of the stories we read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com, and here are some of those news stories for the day. When it comes to the automatic spending cuts that began taking effect this month, federal lawmakers spared programs that serve the nation's most vulnerable, such as food stamps, Medicare, Medicaid, and veterans assistance, from hard hits. That wasn't the case for programs for American Indian reservations, where unemployment is far above the national average, women suffer disproportionately from sexual assaults, and school districts largely lack a tax base to make up for the cuts. The Federal Indian Health Service, which serves 2.1 million tribal members, says it will be forced to slash its number of patient visits by more than 800,000 per year. Tribal programs under the U.S. Department of Interior and the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs that fund human services, law enforcement, schools, economic development, and natural resources stand to lose almost $130 million under the cuts this year, according to the National Congress of American Indians. Several Sioux tribes have begun laying the groundwork for working as one nation on issues they deem important. The Oglala Sioux tribe hosted officials from the Standing Rock Sioux, Rosebud Sioux, and Crow Creek Sioux in Rapid City for 3 days of meetings last week. Such a meeting has not happened in more than a century, Oglala Sioux President Brian Brewer told the Rapid City Journal. This has been something the tribes have talked about for years, he said. About 60 people took part in the meetings and signed a proclamation declaring their intent to work together as the 7 consulfires of the Great Lakota Dakota Nakota people. They also produced a set of bylaws and a mission statement and will be preparing position papers. The Nez Perce tribe is questioning charges against one of its tribal police officers after a county prosecutor charged him with voluntary manslaughter with a weapon enhancement clause that could mean the officer, if found guilty, could be sentenced to as much as 30 years in prison. Lewis County Prosecutor Zach Paul brought the charges against Robert Wall stemming from a November 2011 incident in which tribal officers were requested to assist in the pursuit of Jeffrey Flynn for intoxicated driving after Flynn stole a car from 2 deer hunters who stopped to help him after he rolled his own pickup truck. Flynn, who drove into oncoming traffic several times, was eventually stopped with strip spikes and fired upon tribal officers who pulled up behind him. Flynn was hit in the exchange of gunfire and pronounced dead at the scene. After a lengthy federal investigation, the U.S. Attorney in Idaho, Wendy Olson, declined to pursue charges against Wall. Nez Perce tribal chairman said the county charges were a surprise and the council is very disappointed. With an exchange of rings and a kiss, 2 men became spouses March 15th during a ceremony on a northern Michigan reservation after the tribal chairman signed a measure approving same-sex marriage in a state where it's officially banned. Tim LaCroix, 53, and a member of the Little Traverse Band of Odawa Indians, wed longtime partner Gene Barfield, 60, during a ceremony that blended familiar-sounding vows with native symbolism, including drumming and the burning of sage. The men joyfully embraced as tribal chairman Dexter McNamara pronounced them married. An advocacy group is campaigning for a new sales tax on the Navajo Nation that would target junk food. Members of the Dene Community Advocacy Alliance says they hope that a 2% tax on all junk food sold on the reservation would encourage Navajos from buying foods that are linked to health issues that include obesity and diabetes. The Daily Times reports that the group has been visiting Navajo chapter houses in an effort to gain support, but that it hasn't been that easy. One of the group's organizers, Shirley Montoya, says some community members say they are already taxed enough and won't be able to afford it. However, she contends they shouldn't be eating junk food then. The group suggests that the tax target items such as chips, candy, ice cream, pizza, and soda. A viewing of the film Lighting the Seventh Fire by Sandra Ozawa will be part of a fundraiser of the same name held for the Bad River Water Defense Fund at the Red Cliff Ojibwe Legendary Waters Casino and Convention Center coming up on Friday evening, March 22nd, beginning at 5 p.m. The events are free and open to the public with raffles and donations. Welcome along with a $6 a plate spaghetti feed. Discussions on the potential building of the world's largest open-pit mine south of the Bad River Reservation will follow the viewing of the film, which examines the Chippewa of northern Wisconsin as they struggled to restore their fishing rights in the 1980s. For more information, you can call 715-779-3485 or email to jbulber@hotmail.com. And that's going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to say miigwech for joining with us, and come back again soon.